mask, just truth in the air. Laughs in the room, real talk everywhere. Late night thoughts, say how we feel. This ain't for the fake, this is something real. Uncut conversations, new perspectives in the mix. Pull the curtain back, yeah. Time to drop the filter, listen close to this. Beyond the filter, we say it all. Real voices, no glue when the truth calls. With transcendence, no mean set. Same chest too. Pull up a seat, this one's for you. Beyond the filter, beyond the filter. Where the real ones speak. Beyond the filter, where the real ones speak. Where the real ones speak. Yeah. Yeah. Turn it up, let it breathe. No edits, no mask, just truth in the air. Laughs in the room, real talk everywhere. Late night thoughts, say how we feel. This ain't for the fake, this is something real. Uncut conversations, new perspectives in the mix. Pull the curtain back, yeah. Time to drop the filter, listen close to this. Beyond the filter, we say it all. Real voices, no glue when the truth calls. With transcendence, no mean set. Same chest too. Pull up a seat, this one's for you. Beyond the filter, beyond the filter. Where the real ones speak. Beyond the filter, where the real ones speak. Where the real ones speak.
Dominique.
Hello.
Hey there.
Hello, hello. How are you?
I can't complain. How you doing? Since you cussed my ass out last night on our point of view.
Okay, so remind me. Okay. Because I had my love juice.
What kind of juice?
My love juice.
Listen, welcome to another Thursday night of Beyond the Filter with Dominique and myself. We're so excited about tonight's guest. We'll tell you more about her later, but I want to tell you how Dominique did not play last night because she don't want these comedians saying anything they want to say out their mouth.
So I am.
And she's gonna bust somebody in their motherfucking face. And let me tell you something. And if I was in her face, I would have been that person she bust.
I am so glad that you revisited that because I don't want anybody to misinterpret that I'm trying to say that people should filter what they say or filter what they do. But I do have a sensitive spot for when a community is being attacked in that moment, and a community is being attacked and things are really going not so well for them, I just don't think that it's just the right time to be making fun of it. That's almost like, because that's almost like when the shootings happened in Minnesota and the 2 civilians were killed, and then somebody were to say, oh, well, at least, you know, ICE was there so their bodies didn't rot. You know, I would not find that funny. But they would think that, and they would think, but they would be saying it trying to be funny, but I wouldn't see the humor in it.
Right. So, because you don't enjoy dark humor neither.
I don't think I am that type of person.
See, your mama went on crack. Mine's on crack. So I can enjoy all kind of dark humor. Because you just got to like, how else you get through it? You think about stuff too deeply sometimes, just like, how the fuck we get past it? But Sean, I did enjoy my birthday. Thank you so much. But no, I'm just messing with you though. I did understand where you was coming from and stuff. So how's the prep coming for Continental Elite?
The prep is going great. It's so funny because, you know, we've got Mother Braxton here because she's going to look over everything prior
That's
to
the
me
right person to do it.
Before me taking anything to I talked to her when we were down in Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
She's going to look at everything after I get everything together. I'm going to send her everything and she's going to say, no, not those shoes. Right. You're not wearing those. No, not those earrings. You're not. Yes. No, those bracelets are not going. And you know.
Listen, Mother Braxton got
I don't
know. Your whole budget might go to that now.
Yeah, you know, I don't volunteer for scrutiny, but I just know that she's gonna give it to me raw, and you know, she doesn't have any skin in the game one way or the other, so she's just gonna really tell me what she thinks, and I need that because that's not really my forte. That's not what I'm known for. So let me bring in somebody that's known for it.
Has that eye for it. Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, that's good that you're even open to like receive that, because a lot of people like, I don't need no help with that. I got it, you know, type thing. But hey, if somebody of that magnitude who's always been fashionable, who know what fashion looks like, you know, who reinvented how bitches should even do pageants down here in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm just saying.
Absolutely. Nope.
Like pageants have been so less interesting because people like her and Marissa and all those girls don't compete no more because they would bring shit that I don't know who got together and thought of that. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm talking like at the very top of her game. So yeah, that's a beautiful thing. And I take it rehearsals are going well.
Well, this is preliminary night. Yes, this is the first weekend for final nights. Because I'm not one of those girls. I can't practice something for months and months. Okay. Because I'll get to the point to where I'm just like, if I hear that music one more time, I still want to be excited about, because you know, I did competitive dance, I did competitive cheer.
Okay.
And so I got used to learning things quickly prior to going to an event, and we had to be good. Because like I said, and I learned very fast. So we're going to learn the entire talent over the course of this weekend. So by the time I'll have the whole thing. Learned.
So you retain things really good.
Oh gosh, yes, I do. I really do.
So you're not one of the girls who push it back out. You retain it.
I guess you could say that yes, I do retain. I retain things because I had to. Because you know when you make these college cheerleading teams and stuff.
Hey Nikki, hey friend.
If you can't, you can get kicked off and lose your scholarship.
Yeah, so you
had to be somebody that could learn.
So even when you did those talents at U of A, those big talents at U of A, you didn't do a lot of rehearsals for that?
Child, hell no. We would start about a month till it was time for us to do it.
That's sickening. Sickening.
Yeah, about a month in, because like I said, I want to still be excited about it, because if I keep doing it over and over and over and over and over, I'm just gonna be like, oh my God,
Marcel, I guess that's true.
And so, when we actually get on stage, it won't be fresh, and I'm excited about it. I
Okay.
wanted to still be where like, oh my God, I cannot wait to hear this
But
music.
see,
Yeah, that's just
what does winning a pageant like Continental Elite mean for you?
so very, very interesting that you asked. When I was 18, which Norman did not know at the time, I was down at his bar and he had programs for Miss America in his office. And I was looking through the programs and I saw an advertisement for Continental in the program. And I was like, oh my God, this sounds exciting because I saw they did swimsuit and all this other kind of stuff. And so he told me, he says, Queen, that's because that was his favorite thing to say to people. Queen, that's not for you. Stay in your own lane. And so then, and so many other people followed suit. And, as I even advanced through my career, and they told me, yeah, I don't think that's for you. So at first it was about proving to people whatever I seek to do, I can go for it. So at first it was about that. But now it's twofold. Two people that I really loved wanted me to pursue Continental, and they were also Continental, and that was Taj Mahal and Whitney Page.
Okay.
They were great. They were mentors of mine. Of course, Taj was my drag mom, and then Whitney moved. Mm-hmm. But Calexis is also, but yeah.
Alexis too?
Hmm?
So you are Davenport, a Hall.
Mahal, Davenport Mahal.
Davenport,
and so then Whitney moved to Arkansas, at the latter part of her life.
Mm-hmm.
And we became very, very close. And she would always say, she would look at me and she did this little thing with her tongue. When she would talk, then she said, I just don't understand. And I was like, what are you talking? She says, I just don't understand somebody that's as intelligent as you are and as talented as you are. She was like, where's your confidence? She was like, where's this realizing how much you have to value? And so she instilled in me to pursue Continental, because she said, I know you want it. Go get it.
So you've never been to any division of Continental?
I have. I competed the year that Brooklyn won.
Okay.
That was the first year that I've only been once, and so it
Hey
was
Katrina,
that.
hey Morgan, hey Jeremy.
Hey everybody.
Did you place well that year?
I made the 10.
Okay.
Which was good, which was good for me because things did not go as I wanted them to go.
Mm-hmm. And especially the girls just show up in droves over there.
So many things fell apart. But then now, Trent.
Hey Sophia.
When I'm the type of person, I don't compete unless my spirit tells me that the time is right and what it's right for. And so
you be talking to your spirit.
My spirit talks to me, and then I respond.
Okay.
And so my spirit was telling me
live, yeah. Click live.
That this is the place and this is the time for me. Things have changed as it relates to Continental. They're looking for someone that's more of a leader type, and I know that that's someone that I am and someone that I have always been, and that's one of my strengths. So I said, the time is right. This just, Gay America, and not negating any of the levels of the competition, but Gay America, that was like graduating high school.
Yeah.
Winning USA, that was like getting my bachelor's degree, and now it's time.
Hey Lori,
it's time for me to get my master's degree.
Oh, okay. And you know what I always wondered though? Hey, Diamond, where you been, Diamond?
Hey, Diamond. Hey, Lori. Hey,
when you started getting body and stuff and going back to Gay America, did they shun on that, or was they very accepting of you changing into becoming the woman that you always wanted to be?
I didn't experience any issues with them because I think that they loved me as a former so much.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm one of those people. Once I win, I am wholeheartedly involved in the system, even after my reign is over. Because
okay,
I don't compete for anything I don't want to be a part of outside of.
Okay.
winning. And so, so my mission is always to do things that are about the growth and the expansion of the pageant. And so I think that I had such a strong relationship with the system that they just told me, hey, well, don't come out here trying to wear a G-string or anything like that. I was like, I said, well, no, that's not what I'm going for. But yeah, so no, I never had any issues.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So who do we have today?
Let me chew this for a minute because I gotta have a clean mouth to talk about this.
Okay, you better chew.
So who we have tonight is, just like I said in my post earlier, we have a pioneer. We have a pioneer in this industry and someone that made a mark in this business that I'm not really even sure the extent. I'm not sure she understands the extent of her reach. One moment.
They say you're not the type of girl who get choked.
I know I can get choked, but I do not have any gag reflexes. Those are two separate things. Let that be said.
Let that be known. Okay.
But before I really understood what pageantry was about, I had seen this woman, and she was just someone that was like, wow, how do you get to this level? But what I love about her is just the growth that she has made continuously throughout life. And I think that she is a testament to all trans women, not just Black trans women, but I think she's a testament that there's no specific place, or there's nothing specific that is designated for us. The sky is the limit. And to know that she went from, being an entertainer, and, she can talk about the other pieces of her life that, because I'm not going to reveal all that, she'll reveal that herself, but to where she is now. And for me, my love for her is because she's so unapologetically herself.
Oh my God.
And I just think about the strength that it takes to be that type of person, even back when it wasn't even popular to be that person. She was already that. And then, and then even she says the unpopular things out loud because she's the one. And I'm going to ask her about it tonight because, she was just talking about, she had posted about in her line of work, how she gets a lot of pushback from gay men and how she has to fight for the place of trans women, even in the industry of advocacy, where everybody should be trying to fight for the same goal. She's being that outspoken person that says, this is not just about me. This is about the people that are coming up behind me. And she's speaking up and she's speaking out. And that's someone that I feel that should be respected. And so that's why I'm so excited to have her here, because I just know that there's going to be so much to learn from her. I got to meet her. I think, I don't know if we had met before. I got to meet her for the very first time that I believe when we judged Miss Gay US of A together. About 3 years ago. And I was just like, yeah, I love this woman. Baby, we were tearing them folks up in the interview. Baby, them questions questions were coming
with the children. Y'all would have had me like, wait a minute.
Those questions were coming hot and heavy, and I was like, yeah, I knew I liked her for a reason. So I'm just very excited because I'm
excited too.
Go ahead.
I think I saw Tatianna Braxton the first time I ever went to a national pageant was Black America. I think when Stasha Sanchez won, I think that's the year. That's my first time ever going and just seeing this woman come to registration with this small waistline and these hips and this ass and this confidence and shit. And when she got on stage that night, she had so many rhinestones on it. And this back in the day when they didn't have this Chinese stone shit. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have like, these were Swarovskis and all that different kind of shit. So I'm like, what the fuck? Like, where do people get this type of money from? I remember telling Tanisha when I left, I said, you see them girls competing like that. I said, you can't come back down here like you came. I said, what you doing? And I think she was always been ahead of her time, but she was a bit mysterious too, because no one really knew anything about her because she was really quiet when she came around people. So I was like, but you just knew when she came to a stage that she was finna put on a show in the clothes category alone, she was finna shut it down. She's a former Miss Duval, a former Miss Black America, a former Miss Sweetheart International, a former Miss Black Universe, an honorary Miss Florida. She is a trans advocate, is doing big work in the trans community. It's so beautiful to see. Um, Listen, without further ado, we got to bring our guests in. We got to bring in the one, the only, the mother of the Braxtons, the mother of the fashions, the mother of the body, Miss Tatianna Braxton. Without further ado, we got
cheers. We're gonna drink to that. We're going to drink. Oh, we all got drinks. Cheers to that.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. How are you, Tatiana?
Can I hear? Trent? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Because I can't hear Trent.
Okay, let me go out and come back.
You're gonna go out and come back in. Okay, yeah. He's gonna go out and he's gonna come back in.
Because I can hear you well. I just can't. Okay.
Trent, go out and come back. Can Trent say something real quick before you go out?
Say something real quick.
Still can't hear him. She still can't hear you, baby.
Okay.
Okay, so he's gonna go out and he's gonna bring himself back in.
Okay.
Well, let me just. So while he's doing that, I just want to, just start out by saying that how much I know. I just appreciate your time and you, because I know you've done plenty of interviews, but I'm just glad that you took some time out to come and talk to us. It really means a lot, because I just think that yours is a story that needs to be told, and I think that you always just drop gems right and left, even just in your everyday, just posting on Facebook, you're always dropping gems. And I think that people need to see women like you, because, so many, and just speaking about us right now, so many trans women feel so stuck by thinking that the entertainment life is the only thing that's for them, or just, doing the other stuff that, I'm not, this, but we can just go ahead. Let's be unfiltered. The sex work part is the only thing that's meant for them. And you have just been one of those people that have proven.
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear Trent now, Tatiana?
No. Is it something maybe I need to do on my end?
She says that is there something that she needs to do on her end?
Because I checked out my Can you hear me, Dominique?
I can hear you.
Tatiana, go out and come back in.
Tatiana, he wants you to go out and then come back in.
Okay.
Honey, because we were about to get juicy. We're about to get real juicy.
Very juicy. Y'all make sure y'all click like.
Please.
In the words of Chevelle Boom Boom Brooks. I wonder if Chevelle still go by Boom Boom. Now Chevelle ain't got no weed on her no more.
She still boom because she still brings the boom.
Okay, she still bring the boom.
Yeah.
Because
now the boom
heavy Chevy no more. Okay.
Because I used to sing that song Heavy from Dreamgirls. I used to go, Heavy Chevy.
Okay, let's get our girl. Can you hear me now, Tatiana?
Yes, I can.
Okay, great.
Great.
So what I was just saying is just that, you have just proven that our lives can be so limitless. Mm-hmm. And to see women like you is just so inspirational. And I think that we have to put women like you into the forefront, because I think that so often, women that did things other than what was considered the norm were just not the ones that were the standard. We were the ones that they were like, oh yeah, they think they're better than, or they think that they're white, because you're corporate fish now. So we're just so excited to have you to come on and just to share your life and just share your strength with us, and just allow you just to allow the world to know just how great and how magnificent you are, and to show the community why we love Mother Braxton the way that we love Mother Braxton.
Thank you for that. If it's any questions that you all want to ask, or you just want me to start talking, you let me know how you want it, and I can give it.
Well, I like them about 10 inches and probably about at least 3 inches wide, but we're not talking about that right now,
You got a
Mother.
canal?
But what we would like for you to do is just tell us the life story. Start from as early as you want to begin,
As Liberty
and
City.
take us from
Take us back.
the past, and then just bring us on to the present. And we're not time restricted.
Mm-hmm.
Take your time. As much time as you have, we've got it too. And as long as I got a bottle, I'll keep pouring my glass. Go, Mother.
So, first of all, I want to say thank you all for having me. This also empowers me, like I always say. And I think what happens with me, I like to bring my community into my journey. And I've always been a person that wanted people to experience my journey. And when I started pageantry, and I don't know if a lot of people are familiar with Pilar, and I bring her up, Pilar Braxton, that is, for some people that never met her and don't know her, is I started pageantry because of her. To the point you were saying earlier on the show, with Pilar, I was her dresser. And being her dresser, I would tell her, you didn't do that right. You were supposed to, when you went there, you were supposed to do that. You didn't do this, you didn't do that. So what happened was the girls, when we use sex work now, but back when we was the hoes, they came together. She said, well, bitch, why don't you do a pageant? And I was like, oh, girl, you ain't said nothing. And so the girls came together to support me. And yes.
Yay! Oh my
God. Braxton, baby.
Yes. Came together to support me in that. And so I did the preliminary to Miss Black Universe with Tamisha Iman. And I'm early on in my stages, not knowing what the hell is going on. I just know I'm going to serve it. And I wind up getting first runner up. And so when I got first runner up, I went to Miss Black Universe like I'm this girl from off the streets, and I'm at this pageant, and I'm like, what now? So I know how to compete. I know how to spend the money. I know what looks good, but the politics and all the things that come with it, had no clue. So I got there.
Tamisha year was your first year at Universe?
Which year?
That was Tamisha Iman's year? That was your first year there?
That was my first year. That was my first year. So I got in a contest not knowing anything. We done brought a lift from Miami, done put it in the U-Haul. Don't know you need to cover it. Don't know you need to make it look good. Don't know none of that. Just like, girl, I want to be lifted up. Take me to the high sky. I'm Lucy in the sky. Bitch, I want to be high. That's what I want. We're going to get this lift and we're going to take it down the street. After that, I think people started to recognize like the Braxton household, because we used to come to the pageantries, booty shorts, thigh-high boots, big blonde hair. We would come through the doors and just shut it completely down. And they didn't understand how women were coming and showing up unapologetic, because we living in our truth. And so for us, I think because we lived in our truth, because we took care of ourselves, and it was about the money for us. So we like, oh honey, them bitches can't tell me nothing. What? So that's how we saw it. So we walked in with our head up high because we were all accomplished and came in through the space. And then I had to dial back and learn and understand the business of pageantry. And that's where all the work came in. But through that, I gained a lot of supporters. I gained a lot of sponsors. And I think with Black America, they fell in love. I think we fell in love with each other right off the bat. And that became like my passion. That became my home. But the Florida pageantry system just opened me with welcome arms. Like Duval, they just made me feel so welcome. I didn't feel judged. We didn't feel like we was an other. It just made me feel so welcome. And that's was the start of the industry for me.
Wow.
And so you said that, you learned the business aspect of pageantry. And sometimes when you're learning those aspects of pageantry, you also see that political part of it, and you learn how to navigate through those. What was that like for you?
So the one thing that was always important to me that you and I may share, I was one, because a lot of people will look at me and look at my exterior, and this is what catapulted me in my personal life to where I am. But when that bitch start talking, you like, oh, that bitch got brains. Oh shit.
Mhm. Yeah.
Oh, let me listen.
Yeah.
And that has been my key. My key has been my intellect, my intelligence, how I move in spaces and how I articulate. They buy into that. So yes, I see what's happening on the outside, but I'm invested in who this is as a person and coming in with that genuine spirit. And I think that started moving me in places because people understood me as a person. Because oftentimes people look at people and be like, you know, whatever they think, whatever the perception is. And I was unapologetic. And I shared this. I remember going to Continental, and once I started making the 12, I was told, you need to remove this, you need to do that, and you need to do that. And that's what's preventing you from getting to this place. And I'm like, well, this is my livelihood. This is how I pay my bills. And they're going to have to either take it or leave it. That's how I saw it. And I'll never forget this. I was one year, and I can't remember this particular year, Ginger Grant, she says, don't worry about what they say, honey. You just do what you need to do and you let it show up on stage. And she didn't say anything in particular, but you know how when somebody's talking to you, you can feel what she's saying. And when she said that, I connected. And I'm like, do what you got to do. And ever since then, because in 1990, I think 98 was my first year. Michelle Dupree, I believe, won that year. If that's 98, that's when Michelle Dupree won. I think that's 98.
Yeah, I think that was 98.
That was my first year. And I said to myself when I left that year, I said, I made a vow to myself, when I come back, I'm going to make that motherfucking 12. And every time I went back, I made it ever since. I studied.
And they better be glad you didn't make that 5, because if you got that mic, it would have been lights out.
Lights out.
Children, do you hear me?
You said it earlier. I think I was before my time.
You was ahead of your time.
I do. I think, yeah.
So ahead of your time. And it was like you especially would come up with ideas like, what the fuck did she even think about that? You know what I'm saying? But even before you became this illustrious pageant girl and you became Tatiana or Tanya, if you will, tell me about your upbringing. How was that in Liberty City?
So I grew up with a single mother, and my mother, it was just her and I, but I also have a sister. But it's this closeness that my mother and I had. And I always tell people the story. I think where my resilience comes from and my empowerment and the way I show up, because my mother probably saw something back then that I couldn't recognize. And she would say to me, it doesn't matter what you choose to become, you be the best at it. She would always shelter me from stuff and get me ready. So her and my grandfather, they kind of like poured into me, like, yes, you out in the streets, but they continuously poured into me and built me in a way and gave me that self-esteem that I needed in order to navigate life. And I just contribute my mental health, and I talk about it a lot. I contributed to my family because they accepted me with open arms. I didn't have to be nobody else. I didn't have to present anything else. I was able to be me unapologetically. And I think that is why I show up the way that I do, because the love and the compassion that I had from my upbringing. And in that process, at 16, I met these group of women, and Cinnamon, and these are old drag queens women, and they were sex workers. And they told me this is what I was going to have to do in order to be this, in order to look like this. This was what I was going to have to do. And they introduced me into sex work. And that in that sex work space just turned into,
hey, Natasha.
Hey, Miss Vogue.
Natasha's here.
Yeah.
Hi, Natasha.
And sex work was like this thing, like I find it a bad way, because it was celebrated back during that time, and it was also a way to make money. And when I started making that money and being able to buy the things that I felt that made me feel affirmed, that made me feel complete, and I was able to do that. And my mother realized, she was like, what you doing? I say, I'm not doing nothing. And she said to me, you selling your ass. I said, girl, no. She said, you selling your ass. I never admitted it to her until one time. What they taught me back in the days, we just gonna be clear here, is what they taught me: when you get in the client car, he don't give you no money, you take his keys.
Mm.
So I took his keys, and he went to the police. And so it was a strong armed robbery charge that they charged me with at that time. So,
Whoa.
yes, she had to come to the court in order to like say XYZ. And that's when she realized, she said, I told you you were selling your ass. And they explained what was going on, but she was there. You know, she didn't judge me. She just told me, I told you I knew what I knew. And we went from that, and I just did what I did. And then I was just safer about the way that I did it at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So you met the ladies at 16. Did you start when you were 16?
Oh, yes.
All right, you went straight out there, right?
I went straight into it. I just, and here's the thing, Trent. I think for me and many trans women, I didn't know what it was, but I felt different.
Mm-hmm.
And I was moving as a gay guy. And I said to myself that I would never, I thought putting on a wig and doing all that stuff, I thought that's just too much. I'm like, honey, that's taking it too far. How I found myself in a wig and a skirt, I don't know, but I did. But when I did that, I felt comfortable. I felt like, this is me. It didn't matter how people felt. I was a whole brick. That didn't matter. What mattered was I felt like me, and I felt good, and I felt empowered.
And so about what age were you when you realized that this new person had to be born?
Oh, that was 16.
About 16. So you realized that so you realized that the woman that you are now was needing to come out and live.
And yeah, we started getting black market, the injections, the pollutals. They came in this brown bottle. We used to go in the back alley of Miami Beach and pick them up to start doing all the stuff. Yes, I'm black market to the core. That's how we started. And one thing led to another. Absolutely.
And so let me ask you, because like I said, when y'all came to Atlanta, like it was like an anomaly. We never seen anything like it, right? It was these small. First of all, was it a prerequisite to be a Braxton? You had to have a small waistline and big ass nips. Was that like a must have?
I don't think it was a prerequisite. I think like, cause we grow up, you know, Miami back then you had the 2 Live Crew, you had Luke Scott, you had like our nightclubs and the strip clubs. The women in Miami, they were shaped a certain way. So our grooming, like these women were like banging and they was hitting it. So it was like, honey, if you're gonna be a bad bitch, this is what you're gonna look like.
Yeah. So you patting yourself after the women you saw in Miami.
Yes, that's what
Okay.
So before we move forward, I do, since you brought up, the black market, silicone and all that stuff, and then, it came, several years ago, it became this big campaign about just say no to silicone and all of this other kind of stuff. And then it's almost as if people forgot that there was a time when we didn't have the financial means to do what we felt we needed to do to feel complete. And then even if we did, it was just not accepted for us to just walk into some cosmetic center and say, okay, I want you to do me up. When those things started happening and people started talking about that and they started speaking very negatively about, for whatever reason they were doing it, but people were really starting to speak down on the people that had gotten, black market work done. What were you feeling in that moment? What were your thoughts about what those people, because I'm not sure what their mission was, but for me, and I could just only speak for me, as a 50-plus-year-old woman, I just felt like, I feel like y'all are judging us. And I feel like you're trying to make us on some level feel bad about who we are. I just felt that it was almost a very negative. I mean, I get that they were trying to say, oh, it's about health, but some people were taking it very, very far in the ways that they were trying to speak on it. What were your thoughts in those moments?
So for me in those moments, I told people this, I was fortunate enough to not have those issues and those complications. And I thank God to this day that I'm one of the fortunate ones, and I say that.
Mhm.
Although I had other situations that came out, you know, when something happened in my house through a court case, that's different. But in terms of me and health, it worked for me. There's a few things that when I think about the complications that happen within my face, in particular, that may be an issue, and I'll fix that. But for me, overall, it didn't bring me any issues. But what I will say to them, I think you can't judge us, and especially people that have had silicone way back then, trying
Mm-hmm.
to judge us for something with the resources that we had at that time. I'm
Right.
not going to let you judge me when that is what I had in place and that is what I knew. Yes, things
Mhm.
have changed now, respectfully, but to your point, us older women, we didn't have those resources, and then the people that were our mentors and the people that was we were growing up listening to, these are the things that they were introducing us to these people, and they looked lovely when they was
Mhm.
on the stage, and they looked, so that's what we were looking to. So when I hear the stories and I have seen some of the horror stories, I understand that's where they're coming from. But excuse me when I say this, and I say this respectfully, that ain't had shit to do with me. And I say that respectfully because I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, but that's not my
That's
story.
not your story.
And I err on the side of you like, that's not my story. I mean, but I
Yeah.
understand, I can sympathize. I understand, like, what I tell a young girl today, go get that. No, I will be like, girl, there's other options for you. But what I had to do in my time, and me being one of the lucky ones, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, I'm finna scrape it out for what? Girl, this body has afforded me a lifestyle. Bitch, is you crazy?
Um, listen to me. Listen to
What?
me. I know, I know that's the truth. But at any time, because I know when you was getting your work done, girls were passing away from it, right? At any
Yes.
time, did it make you terrified to go finish how you want it to be finished, or you just like, okay, it's not affecting me, so I don't care.
So after, there were certain and doctors that we could consider to be like the good ones, I
The good
say.
one.
Once,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm just gonna say that for the sake of
Mhm. Mhm.
conversation. The good ones. Um, in that space, when they started leaving and started becoming far in between, whatever was happening in their lives, in that moment, I was like, I don't think I'll let anyone else touch me. And yes,
Mhm.
I haven't been touched since 2000, maybe 2001 or two. And
Okay.
whatever it looks like, however it look, I'm comfortable with that because I am afraid of, I don't know what these people are using. I don't know if they know what they're doing. And
Right.
the last thing with Tanisha and Amber, I was like, I'm not letting nobody
Yeah.
do anything to me. So I
Right.
haven't been touched in a long time to their point. So I'm just like, I'm gonna leave well enough alone.
Yes.
If I do anything, I'll probably go to a cosmetic center to have something done. But no, I would not do anything on the black market. I won't do it anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now let's get back. I just want to touch on that because while it had came up, I said let's strike the iron while it's hot. So
Mhm.
now, when did you realize, or when did you first see your first drag entertainer, and when did you get introduced to it, and what was your first experience on stage like? And I know those are three things, and I'll write it down so I can
That's a
remember
Black
what I just
Universe
asked.
question. All about 5 questions in one. Go ahead.
But that's mother. She's gonna knock it out the
You can
park
handle it.
without
You can
worry.
handle it.
Come
The
on, mother.
the first entertainer like I saw was I think about 17, and we were sitting at this trans woman's house, and she was playing tapes, and I saw the Continental tape, the with Chanel Dupree one.
Mm.
I looked at the whole tape, and all I kept saying to myself, I was like, oh, I can be one of them. Girl, mind you, I'm a brick. I'm 17. I'm brand new. But I was looking and I was like, oh, I can be that.
Oh, I
Oh,
got
yes,
you.
that's me. And in my mind, I saw myself in that because I was like, I can be that. But for me, who introduced me to stuff that I really started looking at was my drag mother, Santana T. Summers.
Shout out to
Mhm.
So when
Tatiana.
she had moved to Florida, she was doing a lot of entertainment. entertaining, and she mesmerized me. Now I've seen other entertainers, but the way that she would perform, and she brought all that body to South Florida, and just the way that she would move, and she was seductive. So I would go to her house after watching her on stage, and then she would have me watch all these tapes. And through me watching the tapes, she said, "Oh, you're gonna be an entertainer." I was like, "Oh no, I'm not. It's too expensive. That's not me." And she said, "You're gonna be an entertainer." And after months and months and months, she was like, "I'm going to give you a name." And I was like, "Oh, whatever." And she came up with Tatiana. And because I'm Cookie and Tanya back then,
Cookie.
she up with Tatiana. And she was like, "I got to find you a last name." And that took a few days for her to find the last name. And then when she found Braxton, she said it, and then she told me how to say it. So when you hear me say it, I say,
yes, you definitely have a distinct way of you saying Braxton.
Yes, she does. Do it for us. Do it for us, mother. Do it for us, mother.
Yeah, I am Tatiana Braxton. So
yes.
it's like, yeah, she was like, "You got to say it like this. You got to say it like that." So she taught me not just, "Here's your name," but this is how you introduce yourself. And so with that, I would just watch her. It was like watching her and listening to the music. She knew it was something inside of me. And even when I used to be dressed in Pilar, she was like, "Honey, you need to leave her alone, honey. You need to come dress me." And I was like, "No, because Pilar's my girlfriend, you know." Leave her alone. And I was like, "No." And she's like, "I don't know why you're dressing her. She's not winning." And she would do all of that crazy
oh my
stuff.
God.
But yeah, she would. But Pilar was my girlfriend. And I still did it. But at the same time, I grew a love for her, and everything just developed from that. It was another piece you asked me to that.
Yeah, so your first entertainer, then when did you get your first opportunity to get on stage?
My first opportunity was the main stage, because you know they have the house balls when you pull shit out the house and you do the house pageant and all that. We did a couple of those, but the first time I got on the stage was when I got on the stage to compete with Tamisha. That was the first time that I got on the stage to compete. Yeah.
But how did you get so fashionable though? Because like, I feel like you came out the gate like in shit that girls could really wear right now. They can wear right now and win a fucking pageant. Like from 20 something years ago. Like how did you, has fashion always been a thing for you?
Yeah, I really thought that when all of this was said and done, I thought I was gonna be owning a boutique. How the hell I got to advocacy, I don't know. But I really thought I was going to be owning a clothing boutique, because I always had a passion for fashion. At one point, I wanted my own jacket line.
Okay.
I just, when it comes to fashion, and maybe it just comes from me watching my mother growing up, and then my mother said my father was an interior designer.
Okay.
So maybe some of that stuff is innate, and me watching. So it's always been there. I just didn't know how to bring it to life. And I think pageantry was an opportunity for me to like, oh, this is an opportunity to do that. So I think it's something that's always been in there. And I've always seen myself in a fashion place. And so, yeah, I think it's just always been there.
So when did you realize that you were an it girl? When did you get up there? You were like, you look around, you're like, wait a minute. I'm the shit. I'm that bitch. When did you get to that space?
Well, I think I'm an arrogant bitch. I know I do.
Yes, I love it. I love it.
But I think for me, I've always been like humble to an extent. Okay. But I think coming from, because when I would walk into spaces, to me, what has always been important to me, Dominique, is like, what does it look like when the lights come down?
Yeah.
So it was like, yes, I'm on stage, but yes, I'm a bad bitch and I'm spending all this money on stage, but bitch, this is the life I live. Like, these gowns is going to be in a fabulous house, just like the fabulous gown. It's not just going to be one dimensional. For me, it's going to be, it's the lifestyle that I live. And I think in that, and again, and even though it was through sex work that gave me that lifestyle, it still did give me a place of empowerment, if you may. And, you know, so this is why I tell sex workers, and I'll never talk down on sex workers. I'm pro sex work to this day. No, I may not be doing it, But get your money, girl. Be
Get your
safe,
money.
and there's ways to save that money and make that money work for you, and a way an LLC to, you know, turn it into something else. But get your money, honey. That's where I am in the space. Like I welcome the girls. I'm just not that, but I can help you out if you want to sit and have a conversation. I'm just not one. And I think for me, all of those things contributed to me feeling like, girl, who? What? Oh, girl, honey, girl, honey, that bitch can't tell me nothing. What? Oh, girl, she in a house full of people. What happened? You know, oh, girl, she's sitting on the couch. Oh, honey. And so for and
Not
so
what happened.
for me, no. So for me, there was always this thing in my head, like,
Yeah.
it's walk through the door kind of in the mindset.
And
Yes.
so when was that debutante moment when you finally felt I have arrived? What was that debutante moment where you be like, this is my this is my coming out party?
What I would say is for me, because national pageantry is a hard piece, and I think I won Duval and Black America the same time, and I think International Bold City was running somewhere up in there. That was a pivotal point. It was like I was like, bam! I was knocking them out. I was like the collector. I was collecting them, and then when I won Black America, it was like it was a moment of like, okay, bitch, now. Girl,
Because I remember you fell to the ground, the wig came off, everything. Like I remember that because I remember watching Black Universe that year on tape, because we used to always watch the VHS tapes and stuff. You know, back in the day, we didn't have all that, you know, send the link and all that. And I remember thinking, why she didn't make the 5 at Black Universe? Like, what the fuck was they looking at? Because you had ate it up so bad. I remember that was when you first wore the green Christian Dior sportswear with the chain sleeves. Like, she didn't make the 5. But you left right there and you went straight to Black America and won.
I think what happened to the point, I think for me, again, I think I was moving so fast, and I'll never forget that particular time. I can share this now because it's old. Big Sur was talking to Mark, and he told Mark, "Oh, she's not winning. She's got to wait her time. I don't give a damn what she do."
Oh,
yeah,
that's them now. Listen, okay, yes,
yeah. So
you had ate it up that year, baby. I'm like,
yeah. So I just think that this is why I tell people politics are in everything that we do.
Everything.
It just is, and you know, in timing, and sometimes you do have to wait your time. And I think for me, I have been a good player in the game.
Yes.
And I think that's key. What I try to tell new entertainers now, like, yes, you could come out and yes, you can let them have it, but there's some things have to work itself out, and you have to grow in spaces. And I tell people, like when I was at Continental, like, yes, they knew that I sex worked. Yes, they knew that I had a website. They knew all of the things. And I knew then, like, they're going to have to really figure out who I am. I'm going to have to work through this. And if you're willing to work hard enough until you're able to get to a place to change that, you're going to have to work probably twice as hard. And that's just the reality of this business. You know, like when they're coming down on Tyra, I'm like, that's the reality of entertainment business. That's modeling, that's pageants, that's ballroom. That is just of it. And I think
it's not all glitz and glamour. It's not.
I think that's the key for me. So I think me being grounded in that, and also I also understood, like, before you go to this pageant, before you invest your money, make sure that you take care of home, because there's a possibility you may not win, you may not bring no prize package home, and you want to make sure things are still good on the home front. So I can walk away and come away from it with an experience of how can you do better for you not to leave any room. So I take things like, yeah, you can be upset, but what did you learn from it? What came from it? And can you sit back and see how you could have been better?
Yeah, and because you used to really bring the noise at Continental too, but I think in my minds and my thoughts, I thought maybe they judging her off stage more so than on stage too. Did you ever feel that? Because I felt like you took packages over there that was worthy of winning, you know?
I do. I think my politics and I think who I was, and because you got to think about it like this. You're talking about a system that have preliminaries, that have to have buy-in, and then when their particular girl don't win, they're going to bring all of that stuff. And that is something to think about. Owners have to think about. Now I have to deal with XYZ and her and what comes with her if that was to happen. So maybe put her in the 5 and then she does answer the question and blow the room up. It's like, not what I'm supposed to do, because now I'm going to have to deal with this. And I think so. And this is why I tell people, I think where I am now, I knew I changed that. And I think we also have to look at our own selves when we are going into spaces and understanding the growth of us taking ourselves into those places. And to Dominique's point, the way that it's moving now, because the system, although I think the politics is still there, but they're looking for a certain type of leadership, right? They're looking for these ambassadors to represent their system in a certain way. And I would never even say that I'm going back to, I don't think I had the opportunity to win. I just think that when I was over at Continental, it wasn't the time for me in my life to make that happen. And then I'm gonna dive in this too as well. Like when I won Black Universe, that night was great. Everything was happening, but my life that year it just went. It's like I won a pageant and my life just went like a total 360.
Okay.
I was having, so much had happened. And in that space, I couldn't even enjoy me winning the pageant because there was so much going on with me in life. And even though they wanted me to do some things that it could have been something the system could have improved on, but with me and my shit and them and their shit, it was a whole clusterfuck. So
I remember looking at you as Miss Black Universe too, and I feel like Tatiana don't seem happy. This is something she really wants to be, right? And then you made us wait 10 years before your return. You know, like you didn't just come back. It was 10 years. You know, like it always felt that way. Is she happy with the title? Is something going on?
Well, I do a lot of
Flame.
I do a lot of introspective work now. And what I try to do is look within myself before I look outward. And what I can say, the 10 years when I was not coming back had nothing to do with the system. It had everything to do with me and my life and getting myself together. And making sure that when I return, I can return as my full self. So it had nothing to do with them. It had everything to do with me. And I tell people, sometimes we try to please people and we have to please ourselves and make sure that we're doing what serves us. And oftentimes people will put themselves in position and really don't know what serves them. And so for me, even with my daughters, they'll ask me, how do you just walk away from it and just think nothing of it? I'm taking care of myself. First, and then I'll get back to that. And when I'm ready, to give myself what's running over to the people, then I come out and give you some of this overflow. But until then, I'm going to take care of me. And this is the things that I try to preach to people. And when I'm sitting in spaces, I'm like, you don't pull all your stuff out your cup. You keep something for you. So if I go to Continental, as much as I'm going to prepare, and I know Dominique's going to feel me on this, if I do my best and I don't win, I know I did my best.
Oh my God.
I did my best.
I just said this to Uncle Antonio yesterday.
So
that if and I told you this too, Charles.
Yes, you did.
If I don't win, as long as I say there is nothing else I could have done to be better, I will be content.
Yes.
And I cannot even go back. But I know I did everything that I feel. Oh my God. Are we spirit? What sign are you?
Girl, that's why it's the elite, because they know this is the wisdom that comes with. This is what it is.
What sign are you?
Huh?
What sign are you?
I'm a Taurus.
I don't know, but for some reason it seems like we are spirit animals because we think so much alike. Oh my God. But anyway, finish your thought, Mother. Go ahead.
And so for me, that's how I see it. So me taking 10 years to come back, but I came back when I was ready. I came back when I was mentally prepared. I came back when I'm physically prepared. I came back when I'm ready financially and able to do that. Because what people don't talk about, this shit is expensive.
And especially the way y'all get ready. Because not just you, I feel like you instilled it in everybody that came under your name. Because Natasha Braxton was a bad bitch, is still a bad bitch. Congratulations on International Gold. You had Jordan, India Demore. Everybody who touched that stage, y'all always brought us something so profound. Like it was never a carbon copy of anything or anybody. Was that intentional?
I'm creative. I will get in a space, and all of my kids and grandkids know this. If you lock me up, I'm gonna think every which way to make sure that it appears different or it doesn't look like anyone. I'm really big on originality.
Okay.
And even if it's daring, even if it's like, envelope, but you got to push it and see and be comfortable with if they don't buy it now, but you got to. And that's how I look at it in my career. I just would push the envelope, push it, and see what happened. And I think that's what makes good entertainers to me.
Yes.
Like when you push the envelope, I'm gonna do this, and they either accept it or not. And I think that comes from, again, that empowerment in me, because sometimes you got to sell it. The girls that I would see, I say this respectfully.
Okay, go ahead.
And I do. Jasmine Bonet was one that you could throw a paper bag on once upon a time and just push her out there. And she would sell the paper bag. You'd be like...
And you would want it in every color. You would want it in every color.
I put this paper bag on. Now you going on out there, and she would sell it. And so I think like having that type of thought process, like, oh, you gonna buy this. Now you know this look good. Stop. You know this segment. And I think making the people believe it as well. So that's something that I instilled in my people, and that's just something that I carry. Like you gonna buy it. And I think what people also miss is that me and my children, we play off of each other. As much as I'm creative, I still will ask like, hey, what you think? Gabby and I play off each other a lot. If I'm not competing and we're not competing against each other, which we hated at Continental, but it happened that way. But we play off each other a lot.
Wow. So how did the infamous relationship between you and Leonardo get started? How did that come about? And then how did y'all just, because it was almost like you were his muse, and you just you were the spokesperson for the house of Leonardo. So how did
not only that, before you answer that too, because I will always say that the Braxtons, they have measurements that's not like everybody else's measurements, right? The waist ratio to the hip ratio is so different. But y'all never had fit issues. And to this day, I judge pageants because of y'all. Because if the Braxtons cannot have a fit issue, why is somebody else have a fit issue? You know what I'm saying? It was fitting perfectly. Talk about it.
Well, for me, it was the fit that makes the fashion has always been a thing for me. Okay. That has always been like, until this day, I learned how to sew because when I would buy stuff out of the store, because the way I was shaped, I would have all this room in my waist. So I would have to alter anything. So for me, it's always been a fit. And Leonardo, we shared that, but I think with me, they saw me like as a daughter. Dominique, I think they saw me as a daughter, and they not only believed in like working for me and constructing for me, but there's also like a personal investment in being a person and wanting to see me win. And I think that relationship in itself, like when I would come back, and if I didn't win something, Leonardo be just as upset as me, honey. Upset and be like, oh, we're gonna get them again and be ready to sew in that next moment, like what we gonna do next. So it was just like, it's this relationship I can't explain. It was like a father relationship with him, and there was nothing, even if he had people and it was business, like, oh, I gotta fit her in, we gonna figure this out. If it's 1 o'clock in the morning, you come, I'm gonna do this, whatever. So it was just, it was a connection. It was this connection that was more than just a seamstress working for me. It was like, family. And he was invested in me as an entertainer.
So, just watching you and your career, I just want to ask this really quickly before I go to this other question. Are you a lover of the arts?
Yes.
Okay.
I like all of it. I like ballet. I like all of the art things. I watch Broadway. I'm watching everything. I like plays. I like it all. Like it's nothing one thing I like more than other. I can sit and watch all of that. Like I like to look at ballet. I love Broadway. But I also some people don't connect with Broadway in the way that I do, and I love poetry. I love anything telling stories, even if it's through movement or if you're telling the story. I love all of it. All of it.
That's awesome. That is so awesome.
I love it. And on your journey, you get to meet people, just like you met people on your way that inspired you. You met people along the way, became your children, like Natasha Braxton. How did you meet Natasha?
I met Natasha. Well, we was the girls, and
Okay.
That's how we originally met. But I think Natasha wanted to do. There was a newcomer pageant that Natasha wanted to do, and again, this is when we're in our beginning stages of me coming that pageant girl after they sing like, okay, she's gonna lead the squad here in Miami, and it's one of the newcomer pageants. I can't remember that she wanted to do, and she was like, oh, I'm gonna do it, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna support. And at that time, she was like, oh, I'm gonna use the Braxton name, and I'm like, okay. And she did, and she executed. I'm gonna say this, and I say this with no shade or anything to my other kids, but whatever I would give that bitch to do or tell Natasha to do, she would do it and execute it. There was like, she's like, okay, she'll be calm. Like when we're talking about it, she said, okay. And when that bitch hit the stage, I was like, bitch, that's it. She would nail it every time. She would nail it. So I was like, oh, it's a done deal. Definitely deserving.
And may her soul rest in peace. How did you meet India D'Amour?
My grandbaby. Oh,
Yeah,
I can't. And I know if you go to my Facebook page, she's there. It's like I can't. It's like I can't take it. I don't know how to take it down because I feel like because for me, she's in my heart because she was pageantry and all of that, but there was a family unit there with her, like her and G-Ma and her. In her life, I was connected. It wasn't about a pageant. It was about I was connected to her in life, what that looked like,
deeper connection,
and her growth. And so there was a real grandmother granddaughter connection with her, and the pageant was just one of those things that came with it. And of course, I'm gonna be there 110%. But it was more so like this family unit, and India is one of the sweetest people that, and I say this not just saying, she's one of the sweetest people and to give you anything. She will give you her last. And what her and I used to go back and forth with, because she would do that to people, and then people would shit on her. Right. And I told her, don't you change. Don't you change, because you will be blessed. Continue to do what you do. You don't have to start acting any type of way, because those people will get what's deserving to them. So for me, it was just like through her life journey, through all of the things, there was a connection, and I can't explain it. It was like, things happen. And I tell people, when we put ourselves in certain situations in life, and I say this, some people don't understand how I move when I say this, but we have to understand what those consequences may be. And I still live by that to this day. Like, you just never know when it's going to be. But when you put yourself at risk, and sometimes shit will just happen, and you have no control of that. But yeah, that's my baby.
Yes.
And with this amazing career that you've had, how does it feel to have such a great family line? And that when you finally say, yeah, I'm completely done with this, your name is still going to live on through the legacy that you have fostered and you have created. How does that feel? Because right now you're getting to still see it all manifest. What does that feel like?
It feels good, and it's rewarding. I tell people the reason why I'm able to give back to people And the reason why I can show up for people is because I can feel the love. I get it. I feel like if something happened to me tomorrow, I did good. I did good by the people. I built a legacy. I'm very proud of it. I got kids, grandkids, great grands. And what I try to do now is, because there's a lot of Braxton people that I haven't met. So when they win something, I go directly to them and let them know, I see you, bitch. I'm on the computer. I'm looking, I'm like,
Yes. Yes.
this mama. And I go to Natasha now, who that is. How that,
Okay.
and I hit them with a congratulations. I do all the stuff because I want them to feel that connection. Like, you are part of the family. I see you, the matriarch. I see you. I watch you and I look and I ask questions. Then I'm like, oh, okay, let them know so they can feel like family. So for me, it's rewarding every day. I'm thankful. I'm just thankful to still be here. Let me say that as a 50, as you say, 50 plus something old trans woman, to still be here, thriving. I'm grateful every day. And to be stable. All of these are important.
And speaking of still being here, because you know the lifestyle, right? The lifestyle of a working girl, if you will, it's a dangerous game.
Yes.
Again, we you know, I read somewhere that you saw your girlfriend get killed feet away from you, right? A few feet away from you, and all this stuff can be so traumatizing and stuff. Were there moments that you had in that line of work that scared you shitless and made you say, "Oh, I'm not doing this no more," or did you just feel like, "Okay, I'm protecting myself. Ain't nobody gonna do shit to me. I'm always on." How did you get through that part of your life? Because how long were you a working girl?
About 30 something years, but I'll share, and I'm going to
30.
be completely vulnerable in this space. About 30 something years. But for me,
Okay.
when I started to see trans women being murdered at an alarming rate, that started scaring me. That was, oh, girl, you're going to have to figure something out. But what happened to me, there was a shift that happened in my life where clients, in relationships, that was happening in my personal life, things just wasn't working the way I knew them to work. And I found myself, and you know that term, robbing Peter to pay Paul. I found myself sitting in a space, and I was in this big old house. And when I say I was catching hell, I'm catching hell. I'm eating off the dollar menu. I'm writing checks to pay light bills that's gonna bounce, and trying to figure out if I could get a client to make that bill before it bounced. I mean, payments behind, monthly payment. It just was a whole lot. And in that space, no, the danger of being killed didn't come to my door, but the fact of my life, like, you got to figure something out, girl, because this shit. And in that, I started to look for spaces to figure out how to fix me or how to help me. Because I was like, something has to change, something has to happen. And that's when I found myself sitting in a support group, trying to help people like me, sex workers, and people transition. And sitting in that support group, I'm like, yes, this is good, but y'all ain't feeding my soul. Because I fed, and they were younger than me. So I'm an older trans woman sitting here like I know that. And somebody invited me to come to Broward County. And when she invited me, there was a different thing that happened in that space. And that's what catapulted me into where I am, because I didn't wanting to be an advocate. I came in, bitch, trying to find something to save me, to my people and people that feel like me. And through that, I was speaking. And again, I said, my intellect, they was like, who is that? Like, who she is? And that's what started catapulting me. And they had a change. It was in this transition when they were trying to change from cisgender people representing the transgender population. So in one of the groups, they had to vote a trans person in to be the spokesperson for the entire group, the health department. And I walked through and they voted me in, and I'm like, bitch, I'm just talking. I'm just speaking my truth and what's going on with me and how I get here. And the next thing, one thing led to another. And so how I got out, I was trying to save me and going to those support spaces, and those support spaces turned me into an organization looking for somewhere to help me, hired me, and then I decided to do the work on my own. That's how I.
Wow. And it's funny you say that because, you know, when you in those spaces, it's still a lot of girls who feel trapped with sex work being the number one thing that they can do. But what would you say to a girl that's still trapped into the life right now? What would you say to her to make her see a different way of living? Because now that you're living a whole different life, you know what it can be still. I mean, and it's still a lucrative life for you because you're a fabulous girl. You know, we watch your videos. We know how fabulous you are. We know the house is amazing. We know you in subdivisions that bitches wish they could live in. You know, it's a Mercedes type thing with you. You know, what would you say to a girl that's still struggling and thinks that she can't get out?
What I would say to her is, what is your end goal? And
Mm-hmm.
I help you in that, because I hired someone in that space, because what happens is I know it when I see it. And everybody's not ready to make that transition, and the girl has to be ready. But when I see them, I ask, what is the end goal? What are you doing to prepare your life? If this is what you're going to do, how are we going to make this a space? How are you having your money documented? I ask those tough questions for her to think about what does transitioning look like, because it's going to always be a young hoe popping up. So I need
Mm-hmm.
you to that, and we all know sex workers, the young one gets the worm. And so when you are younger, it looks different than when you are older. So I ask the questions not in a way to shame her or to make her feel less than, but I'm like, what is the end goal? How do you see your future? And then try to help in that process. And some may be ready, and some may like, I just want to sell my pussy for right now. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna leave you alone for right now. But what I can tell you, I know the streets will win. That's what I know. But at some point, when you're ready, we could talk about what does the end goal look like for you. And
What does that mean, though? The streets will win. What does that mean? Because that's a big statement. What does that mean?
Because if you stay on them long enough and you put yourself at risk long enough in those streets, eventually they will win. I've seen it time and time again. And not even just the streets. Sometimes when we put ourselves in positions that some may consider to be dangerous. When you think about sex work, we open our doors to people we don't know, and there's so much happening with us in our community. It can be somebody walking in and think they can want to rob you, and it can go left. You know, they try to rape women, and it can go left. So when you put yourself in those situations and at that much risk, things can come of that. And because no one's invincible. And I know, like, experienced a lot. In addition to how I got out, I didn't have to have that traumatic experience of, yes, I've been shot. Yes, I've had to jump out of cars. Those were the experiences that I suppressed. But when I knew it was time, I was like, this isn't working. Girl, this isn't working. So you're going to put yourself in a place where you're at duress, and you're going to put yourself in a position, and then that's what may come of it. So for me, as an older woman, I told them, you just have to think about the end goal and think about the future for you. What does that look like? And again, I don't tell them that sex work is a bad thing, because there's something, and it afforded me an amazing life. But it got to a point where it wasn't doing what it used to, and it was time for me to
So kind of piggybacking off of what you were saying earlier, why do you think, not only from the trans community itself, but then just from the gay community at large, but maybe even just the world at large, why is the value of a trans woman based off of what she looks like, and her value is about how passable she is? Because if you notice, and I've brought this up to Charles before, that whenever the first thing that come out of people's mouths when they talk about, oh, she's so beautiful, she's so gorgeous, oh, body, but nobody ever says, oh, that's one of the smartest people I ever met. They don't ever say anything like that. It's always about what somebody looks. It's about the physical. Why do you think that that's the basis of the value of trans women to a lot of people?
Because I think that's the construct of the world or society of what they have set up us to be. As we started off the conversation about the look and the body, and when you think about all the people that are supposed to be those role models and the people that society deemed to be great and beautiful, it's about the exterior. It's about what they look like. It doesn't go to how intelligent. Those women would be the Oprahs or the Michelle Obamas, and you're not looking at them for beauty standards. You're looking at them for their intellect. But the way that society is set up, it's about what you look like. And when it comes to trans women, that has always been a pet peeve of mine. I'm like, why do they just relegate us to sex and what we look like? And then you have to be passable. I think that transitioning and trans women, whatever that is for her or whatever that is that she deems she wants to be, I think that's what it should be. But society has set these things up. And I think for me, what people don't understand, all of this, I've always been a person, the way I set myself up, I always wanted to be a person that walked into a room and the room stopped.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted, this is what I wanted for me.
And I think that's happened for you too.
Yes, Curtis. Mm-hmm.
I think that's happened for you too. What you wanted happened.
But here's the thing. In that, so I would tell people, if I left somewhere and like I'm dressed down and I walk through the place and ain't nobody looking, you know, some girls like, oh, I went to the store and didn't nobody pay attention. I passed right on through. Girl, that's good for you. But for me, bitch, I'm like, what did I do, honey? I need to go back home and figure this out. Because, honey, I should have had the car screeching and squirching and them running down aisles for me. And that was how it was once upon a time. Now it's something different. But once upon a time, for me, that's what it was. And I think I had conformed to what it is the people say that looks a certain way, as I mentioned earlier about the way the Miami women were set up. So me setting myself up like that, like the women I see, and my sister's a voluptuous woman, these are the things that I patterned myself behind. It wasn't about the intellect, it was about the physical, because the physical was going to bring them to the yard. And I always knew that, but I always knew that my intelligence was going to keep you in the yard. So I always knew my strengths and I utilized them, but I think that's because that's the construct. That's how the world is set up.
And with your intelligence, and too, again, people like you, people like Natasha, and all these girls, was it important that y'all did have this intellectual factor in y'all life? Because, you know, when you think of girls, women of the evening, women of the night, you don't think intelligence. You know, you think, but in hindsight, I don't know why people don't. Because to make people spend a certain amount of money, you got to be quite an intelligent bitch to tell somebody that this night is going to cost you $3,000 or $5,000. You know, you have to really be. So how did you learn to be so intelligent at? Like, where did this come from?
I think, and what people don't know is that I love to have intelligent conversations. And Natasha and I are very good at that. Her and I can sit on the phone and have those conversations, not even in terms of just like pageantry, but just like worldly conversations about understanding. And her and I are good at having the conversations about how do you look at things from a different lens. And for us, it's always been about our intellect. We know that people would look at us and be like, oh, that's a lot. But it has always been about the intellect. We share never wanting to walk into a room and be like, she dumb. That's a box of balls. I mean, looking good and having no intelligence, there's a lot of that out there, but I'm fortunate enough to I mean, come on now. I mean, you know,
okay.
I got a little bit of schooling behind me, and I surround myself with intelligent people and like-minded people that challenge me in conversations, so I can be sharp enough to be able to, when I'm put in spaces, to have real adult conversations or just conversations in general that make sense.
It's so funny that you say that, because I can't remember what me and Charles was talking about one time, but he had asked me about something, And I had said to him, I said, no, I said, you know, the only thing that was important to me that I was smart. I wanted to be able to walk into any room and have a conversation with anybody that I said that was what was more important to me. I didn't care about being beautiful. I didn't care about having the best body, but I wanted people to be like, oh my God.
But Dominique, you do got a sickening body, so you care something about it. You care something about it. Baby, because that waistline has always been small and that ass always been big.
But I just always wanted people to respect me for my ability for my mind. So speaking of great minds, so now you're transitioning into your first opportunity to be an advocate for trans women. How did that happen? And what was that role that you were playing?
So for me, like I said earlier, how it happened, I was in a meeting the other day with some people, and the person said to me, because this is how I got to advocacy, it was always somebody saying, do you know this particular person? And the person said to me, your name keeps coming up. And this was for a particular position for one of the new mayors. And he said, I was waiting to get to this meeting because I wanted to talk to you personally. I didn't want to give you an email. And when I hear that, I was like, everybody, when they discuss me, it's like, your name keep coming up. And when I landed myself with my first job, I was volunteering, and the manager of that department called and said that I was told I needed to get to know you and I needed to meet you. So it's always somebody was telling somebody who I am and have you met her. And that has been the story of my advocacy. And know me and bring me in the room, they like, I see what you're talking about now. And now I see what she's talking about, because yes, she come up in all her stuff, but when she started spitting, did turn you a whole nother like, yes, that's good. And through working here, well, when I was working at this other organization, the position challenged me, and it challenged me where I had to facilitate these large groups of people in recovery. And it was challenging for me because I'm coming straight from the streets. And so to put me in a position like that, and there's some logistics I had to learn, but I was in that space. So me having to articulate, and then with people in recovery, some of them dozing off, some of them smart, some of them are real smart, having to be able to conversate through the whole room, that in itself gave me another skill on top of what I already had. And so for me, that just landed me in a supervisory role really quick. But in that space, I knew to work the way that I wanted to do it, I was going to be able to do it working for someone else. I just knew that.
But you've always been a leader, though, because your granddaddy saw this, right? He called you Cap, right? Short for Captain. So you've always been a leader from the beginning.
Yes, he did. Yeah. But he called me Cap, but when he was in the nursing home, and after I transitioned, and I walked through the room, and he said, Cap, what's your new name now?
Oh.
That old man then knew, I know you ain't Cap now. Now, what's the new?
But even he saw something in you that was just innately in you, because, you know, it's very few leaders in this world. So many people can follow trends and follow things that happen, but it really takes a real person to stand up and lead. And in that leadership position, you are misunderstood sometimes too, because you see it from a lens that most people cannot fathom to see it from, you know. So that's an amazing thing. And did you always feel in your heart too that you was this type of leader?
I knew I was something. I couldn't put my finger on it. I just knew I was something, especially when I was younger. I just knew he would depend on me a lot with the other siblings. Like, now what happened in this case? I'm gonna go get Cap because Cap would tell me. But I didn't realize what he saw until I became an adult and started watching. When I started grooming and getting family, I was like, now I know what he was. I see what he saw. Because now I'm connected it, and I'm realizing every space you go in, you're like, excuse me, let me through. And people like, well, how does she get over there? And how does she get there? And I'm like, I'm just being me, unapologetic. And that moves me in spaces. So the way I move, because I'm a good-hearted person. I'm not anything that's going to make you. I'm not going to be nasty to people. I may be brutally honest. I may tell you something that you might have to sit in your discomfort, but I'm not rude or nasty. And once I leave the space, because I'm good at disrupting and walking out the room like ain't nothing. And that's on you. And a lot of white men find that to be like, how does this black bitch get to walk in here, disrupt the room, and she leaves like ain't nothing happened?
Yes, I love it.
And it has been a superpower. It has worked. And there's sometimes I know when to pull it back. When I walk in some spaces and I be like, I'm not gonna do it. Don't do this.
And you intentionally smell like $1,000,000 because when I hooked you at that Continental Press, I said, God damn, Tatiana smell good. So you intentionally smell like $1,000,000. So let me ask you, in the line of work that you were in, and did you find it difficult to date because people objectified you because you're this beautiful, voluptuous woman and a blonde, you know? So did you feel like people truly loved you for who you were, or the vision of who they thought you were?
I think when I was sex working, I don't think that there was true love. I think I was in situations that I was in love with being in love or someone loving me. I don't think no one can truly, and this is just my own personal opinions, I don't think no one can truly love you the way that you need to be loved as a sex worker, and you're constantly just giving yourself to people. There's no sacred, there's just no, I understand in that moment, I thought that could happen. I thought, oh, yes, you can understand that this, I'm making money, honey. You should understand and that you can give me the love that I need. But what I realized in that space is that I was finding a lot of broken people. Yeah, they were attractive men, but I was finding broken people because I was a broken person as a sex worker. And I was parading around like this is okay. So what I was doing was finding people to bond. Yeah, we may look good together. Yeah, it may work, but we're bonding in trauma. He's broken, I'm broken. And we're calling this a relationship. And we call this love. And for me, once I got to the place I am now and understand it, I know that's not what that was. And so I don't know if I had the full love at that time, but where I am today, yes, I think people can see me for who I am as a person, what I bring, my heart, my soul, my intellect outside of the body. Because a lot of people work come superficial world, big ass, got this, got that. And then how when they look at some of us that have not only that, but have the trimmings that go around it. So yes, they was in love with a whole lot of shit. I had all the trimmings, the cake, the ice cream, and all the stuff. Once all of that was removed, now I can see people and people can see me for who I am. And so
that's awesome.
I can find that, and now I can feel the true love within my heart. And I even see that in the relationship that I'm in now. Just the understanding, just this relationship has taught me a lot. But,
and so how did you meet? Because I mean, what we do know is that I would even go as far as to say that 90% of trans women are single.
Yeah. You think 90%?
About 90% of trans women are single. And so what adjustments, or how did you find your love partner?
I think for me, what was important for me, I think we found each other. I think at a time in both of our lives, we just connected. I believed in the universe, because with this relationship, I'm going to tell you something about you saying how we're connected. My partner now, I saw them years ago, and I never understood. It was this thing when I would look at them, and I found them to be interesting, but I wasn't attracted. It was like, I was like, this is an interesting person. I just thought they were interesting. And so I would peep on their social media here and there, and then I would just come out of it. They intrigued me. They was just so different. And I was just like, this is a different person, came out of it. So we were doing our work. We were at a convening, and there was a connection. Then we started talking, and I wanted them to do some work for the organization. And so it was a relationship of, I need you to do XYZ as a consultant. In that conversation, talking as a consultant, something was happening, honey. And
Something was sparking. You hear me?
yeah, something started happening. And one thing led to another. But the beauty of it is that they taught me how to listen. When I say taught me how to listen, I'm a fire off. You come at me as a man or another person, I'm gonna spit it back to you. You throw it at me, I'm throwing it back.
Mm-hmm.
I learned in this relationship, listen, process. Maybe that may be your own internal stuff. Now you respond. Because you coming at me, I'm coming at you. And I had to, through this, I learned, and also with them, we learned how to understand one another. And because I'm a very good communicator, and I think the communication and us understanding, I didn't like what you said the other day. I'm not sure how you meant it, but could you unpack that for me? And it's like a growth that happens. So it's not just a physical attraction. We have this mental connection with a spiritual connection that just ties it together. So some people may look at on the exterior, but we have spiritual and mental connections that we just sit up and talk all night.
Would you go as far as to say that this is one of the best relationships you've ever been in? And if it is, when did you realize that, and what has that done for you as a woman?
I realized it maybe a few months ago. I realized it because I'm a difficult person, I think, to understand, because there's so many things that has happened with me, and there's so much trauma that comes with me from my past experience as a sex worker, past relationships, all of the things that come with me. I stay in survival mode constantly, and them being able to understand that, them being able to understand who I am, and sometimes me, and how to cater to me in a way that fulfills me and makes me feel whole. I don't feel like I'm an object in this. I feel like this person understands me whole. Yes, there's sometimes I may have challenges that may be difficult for them to understand, but they understand what that looks like, and giving me that space, giving me that time to work through that, and then coming back around to that. And I think a lot of trans women don't get people to take the time out to understand us and all that comes with us, because there's so much coming with us, just not our own trauma, but the way this world is coming at us left and right. So there's sometimes I wake up and don't want to move, but they understand that. And maybe they understand it because they are trans too, but they understand me as a person. They understand like the things that come with me. And I think oftentimes we get in relationships with cisgender men, and they can't really pour into us or give us that compassion that we need, because most of the times they're thinking about themselves. Or when they get with a trans woman, it's about what can a trans woman do for them. So it's very important to give us exactly in an introspective way.
And you spoke about being broken in some of the relationships, right? So how did you heal that brokenness? Did you seek out a therapy, or did you just go on a journey where you recognize the hurt and the brokenness and you start trying to fix it?
It was both. So with TIG, we have a lot of support groups weekly, and in that, sometimes those spaces also help me. Yes, I also seek therapy as well. I did all of the things. It wasn't one thing; it was all the things. And the one thing, Trent, that I had to realize, a lot of the work had to do with me. And sometimes people look outward, but once I started fixing me and getting myself together and repairing me, once I got to a place, I wasn't going to look for no broken man, because I knew I deserved better.
Yeah.
I deserved more. So once you fix you and you fix those traumas, and then I think healing is an ongoing journey. But once you know yourself enough, you realize you can't do nothing for me but fuck me, and you get out. Because you ain't got nothing to offer me.
Right.
You get to a place where you understand the difference between, I'm gonna let you knock me down, or this is something I'm finna be in a relationship with.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times we as trans women, we be broken and we just don't know how to fix it. And then we bring other people in that space with us. So it's a whole bunch of stuff that be happening. But I started within and I still, it's a constant thing. I still constantly work on myself. You got to realize I was a sex worker for 30 plus years. And a therapist had me to realize that she was like, I don't know how you but you see men as, you see them transactional. And I said, and I would think about each one of my relationships, and I had to look at her and was like, okay, because they always say that.
So how did it feel? Because I know when I realized where I was messed up, and because I always tried to put it on somebody else. Mm-hmm. This didn't work because of you. That didn't work because of you. This was your fault. That was, but I never could say to myself, you're fucked up. You got some fucked up things about yourself. You know what I'm saying? And I just remember how when I finally came to grips with, I was I too, not that they could have still been messed up, but I didn't see where I was. And I remember how it really, it's almost like I started at ground zero when I realized you've got some things that you need to work on. And I just remember how sad it made me feel because I realized that I never loved myself and I never could. And I would remember going to the bathroom and not being able to look at myself in the mirror. And I would try to say to myself, I love you, but the words would never come out. And I would just start crying because those words I could never speak those words to myself. And so that's when I realized that there is really something wrong with you that you need to fix. What was that moment like for you, and how did that feel?
Yeah, that was, for me, like I said, like once I got into those spaces and when I realized that I needed some therapy and some help, because to that point, once I started doing my own healing and my own work, because a friend of mine would make a statement, and I'll call her name. Nina would say to me, she was like, you know, it doesn't matter how a broken plate is going to always be a broken plate. Mm-hmm. And you could glue it back together and it's still going to be a broken plate. And you're going to be able to tell that the plate was broken. And she would tell me things like, you have an issue, because I'm a 3-time like domestic violence into my partner violence. And so she was like, you keep picking the same thing, different man. So what it told me after 3 times, it's not the man you picked. Yeah, that's your ass. And you got to be honest with you. Those were the moments. Yeah, it was those moments was the things that made me realize, girl, that's you. You gonna have to fix whatever that is you got going on. Work on that, and that was the moment for me.
And self-reflection is very hard for people.
Yes, it is.
Everybody else, and so that's a very important thing to say and bring to the light. That, baby, let me look inside of myself and see what it is about me, so that I can change my narrative. Because if it's happening with everything and everybody you touched, it after a while, you got to say, hey, it's something about me that I need to be in tune with and to work on. So that's an amazing thing. What is the hardest truth you have to face about yourself, though?
I think the truth is, I think that I can say, like, I could see things from a lens. And the hardest thing, and that's why I said this relationship for me is a good relationship, because of where I am in my success. Sometimes people will confuse success and all the stuff that come with me being in Braxton and where I am in my career with, bitch, what, honey, I got it figured out, honey, take it or leave it. But the relationship, the big thing for me was learning that you can be all things and still have shit you need to work on.
Okay.
And so for me, just learning, and I won't say it's a hard thing for me, but just understanding that you're still a work in progress with all that bitch. Now what? And I think
Right.
messages that I try to articulate when I'm sending things like, come on now, people, because accountability is a thing.
Yes.
We
Yes,
have
it is.
time accountability of our own stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
thing. And I think sometimes when you have people around you that won't be honest with you, because we're good. That's why when I saw Tyra, I'm like, I'm one that's gonna be honest with you. Natasha tell you, girl, you didn't win. She's like, Mama, what happened? Nothing. She
That's
had
it.
a pageant.
Yeah.
I tell her, she'll tell you. I
Uh-huh.
won the pageant. I saw it. I sat there and watched her.
You're right.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
the
Yeah.
mama. Or I'm not the person that's gonna be like, oh yeah. Oh
Right.
yeah. That's not me.
You're a realist. You're a
Yeah.
realist.
And I do it to myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I do it to myself. And that's why I think that's what makes me who I am, how I get to where I am, where I can be vulnerable in a space like this and share all my stuff. And it don't matter, go home and feel good because I'm living my truth.
Right.
Of my truth.
Right.
So Trent, now do you see why she got to look over everything I'm going to put on that stage before
Listen.
it goes to Chicago? Because I want her to do that to me, but like, well, girl, I don't know how much money you got left, but you're going to have to
It
figure
is
something
something
else
about
out.
the Florida girls. They are different. The Florida girls are different, and especially the girls of that was with Tatiana. They are different, and they see pageantry through a different lens, and it's
Hey,
just
Tony.
amazing. So when you said she was gonna look up your stuff, I was very excited about that. But
Baby.
I was saying to myself, bitch, I hope you got that type of corn, because
Well, I'm gonna tell her. I'm gonna
them
tell her.
girls
Now,
be
look,
dressed, baby.
I said, I ain't got the Braxton money, but girl, meet me halfway, girl. Give me the Nene budget. But I want to ask you, Tatiana, that in this climate that we're in, how do you feel about the state of the trans community, and what do we need to be doing to step up to meet this space that we're in right now? Because it seems like we're moving and shaking as if nothing is different. And so I just want you to share with us, what do you think about the state of where we are, period, outside of the political climate, but because of the political climate, what do you think that we need to be doing to meet this occasion?
I think what we need to be doing, specific to the trans community, and I'm going to pull the LGBTQ community in that, I think we have to figure out how to unify and come together in solidarity. I think the way that this government is moving, we have to come together, and we are stronger together. And there's a lot of division within our community, even with trans folks. So I think for us, we have to figure out how, despite of our differences, how do we come together as a people? Because that's the only thing that's going to save us. There's times now where I feel uncertain. I mean, I did a whole lot of work to get me where I am, but you just don't know. I wake up, Dominique, and sometimes you just don't know what may drop today, what may drop tomorrow. And I haven't felt this in a very long time, like in the very beginning. So what I say to my community is that we have to come together. There's hands and buts, because the more that they can keep us divided, the more that they're going to win. So for me, it's about unity. It's about solidarity. It's about standing together as a united front. That's what we have to do as a people. And hopefully we can get the other people within our community, within that spectrum, to come together as well, which there's a lot of, I sit in spaces where people feel that the transgender community is the reason why we are where we are.
Could you please elaborate on that? Because I spoke to Trent about earlier where you were saying in your work, some of the adversaries that you faced have come from within our own community. So can you continue your thoughts on this? And please share that with us, because I think that people think we're crazy when we say, I say it all the time, and I've always said, some of the worst treatment I've ever faced as a trans woman have come from within our own community. So can you just continue that line of thought that you're on and talk about, and then parlay that into how you face some barriers because of people within within our own community?
I think what we also have to understand is discrimination happens within this construct, in this spectrum of the LGBTQ community. There are a lot of people that are L, the G's, and the B's that just don't like and understand trans people, and there's no way around it. And they feel like the rhetoric and all the things that come with being a trans person is the reason why this government is so against trans folk. But as they concede that the trans folk was just the thing to get you on the bandwagon, because it's never been trans people, it's trans people being the low-hanging fruit that you can latch on to, that you know that people have issues with, and then you can get them to follow their agenda. We have to be smarter than that. We can't be that small-minded, because now when you look at what's happening in this government, they attacking everybody left and right. It's deeper than just a trans issue, but at some point you have to understand, at the ending of the day, this is what I say when it comes to our community. You can call it what you want. We can go through the gender stuff, but this is what I say. We are still people. We're still human beings at the end of the day, and we are from a marginalized group, and we are Black folk. So at the end of the day, we still hold those titles. Those are still the people that who we are. But the rhetoric that comes from our community from within, even to your point of the things that I face as a Black woman, because some people look at this construct and want to capitalize off the marginalization and then act as if we are the issue and still try to build wealth off of the issues of trans people. So in that space, yes, they will say, oh, you are the problem and you are the reason why we're in here. But if I can find $1 or $2 to catapult what I'm doing, to say that I'm going to help you, I'll also do that. I think that this system, listen, it's all fucked up. There's so much going on in it, because you just never know what's real, who's real. And people will come into our spaces and may appear to be allies. But the allyship is not about an ally to us, it's how we can benefit them.
From you, yeah.
And I think that they never, when it comes to the work that I do, I don't think there was never a plan for us to get to a place where we're able to fish opposed to them giving us a fish. I don't think there never was a plan for us to be who we are as trans folk. I think it got too out of hand for them, and now they want to reel it in and turn it into what they want it to be. So I think for us, solidarity is going to be the key. I think for us, it's building those coalitions of people, but the way that the world is set up, you know, when you think about all of the women that have these platforms, these are trans women that have these platforms where they can advocate in a way to mobilize us or pull us together, they can do better than what they're doing. But now the way social media is set up, that's not what it's about.
Yes.
So it puts us in a position where they got us, our own people, fighting against each other, when we can utilize those platforms to do something productive and positive to bring us together. So it's like we all have to get on the same page. That's the only thing that's going to save us.
And it's so funny because, you know, like I was saying to some of my friends that one of the best lines out of a movie that I've ever heard was when the wizard told Elphaba the best way to bring people together is to give them one real good enemy. And I think that we were that enemy that people are using to bring people together, because for some reason, no matter whether it's the straight community or the gay community or the bisexual community or the lesbian, everybody finds a reason to, and people say I'm sensitive as it relates to this, but this is my lived experience. It just feels like everybody loves to hate us for some reason. Everybody finds a reason to hate us and to find reasons to say we are the cause of their problems. And so when people talk about, because this came up last night, and I know Charles is going to have his own thoughts about it. But that's why when people are making these trans jokes and all of this other kind of stuff, I don't find it funny, because I'm struggling to exist right now. And I know that people will seek any opportunity to have permission to treat me bad or to do harm to me. And when we say that things like that are okay, I think it gives people permission to say, well, that person said it, so it must be true. So I'm going to treat this person this way. And I get it. Comedy is supposed to be entertainment. It's supposed to be fun. But like, Charles and I were saying earlier, there's just a time and a place where I think it's appropriate, because that's like after those shootings in Minneapolis, for me to this is the same example I gave Charles, was that, to say when those people were shot in Minneapolis, and for me to say, oh, well, at least their bodies didn't rot because ICE was all around them, talking about the ICE officers. Mm-hmm. Well, and while I thought I was being funny, there's nothing funny about that. And that is not something to joke about, because people's lives are in danger. So while, yes, I can appreciate the art of comedy, the art of entertainment, I think that words have power. And I think that sometimes people use the power of their words at inopportune times, when it can be detrimental to the well-being of a class of people. But that's just me.
Oh no, that's me too. I'm with you. I'm with you on that. I agree. I think they don't understand it from that lens, and that's why I said this world has turned into something. I don't even know, like, how do we get out of it? I'm working on a coalition now, and I'm like, is this going to be enough? Because we have to get united, and in so many different directions, and I get it. We got all the things that we tied into. They just pull a lot of different directions, and the things that really matter we don't pour into. Even like, yes, pageantry, ballroom, all the things that we're tied into, we don't pull a political, education piece around that, or like, how do we come together the same way that we come together in these spaces to ballroom, pageantry and all that? Do we make it to the polls, or are we meeting those midterms elections in the same way? So it's just in a collective way, we have to come together, and in my spaces, I try to educate as best as possible. Like, how do we mitigate all of this? But I'm hoping, I'm optimistic that we will get there in some way, but that's only going to happen when you think about Malcolm X and when you think about Martin Luther King, those were united fronts, and they would march in droves. We have to take some of that from our ancestors and bring that in today's world. And I think that piece may change something, but until then, I'm optimistic.
Okay. Oh my God. So let me ask, we're going to transition off of this heavy stuff, because I could talk heavy stuff all day long.
Heavy.
Okay, heavy, like my ass.
Y'all know, so do y'all know my partner and my director, they are sitting in this other room waiting, like, girl, because they're not gonna leave me here in this building.
No, we're about to wrap you up, mother. We're about to wrap you up, because that's why I'm about to ask.
We thank y'all so much, because we need to talk to Mother Braxton today, baby. We thank y'all.
We're about to wrap you up, because I was thinking about that, mother, that you have to leave. So leaving us with two things. What do you think is one of the greatest accomplishments you've had in life? Period.
I was going to ask that question. Go ahead, Dominique.
What do you think is one of the greatest accomplishments you've had in life? Period. I'm not talking about drag stuff. I really would love something from you, as because you're a Williams, right?
I am.
As me too. So as a Williams woman, what is one of the greatest accomplishments that you feel that you've had to date in life? And then just leave our audience with an assignment to move forward in life, something that will help them be able to possibly see life differently. Could you just give us something?
Greatest accomplishment for me was being able to transition from a sex worker to owning and running my own organization that not only pays me well, healthcare insurance, and I'm also able to do the same for others. That accomplishment to me is one of the greatest things that I could have done for myself because it opened so many doors. And for me, I didn't see anything out of sex work. I could have yes, I think I'm going to become a designer, but I didn't know how to get out. But I put myself in position and I got out and I'm able to afford myself a living and make sure that I am paid an equitable wage. That's the best thing that I have accomplished in my life today. Being able to secure my future, being able to help others, being able to make sure I get the care that I need, being able to purchase my home. That is the biggest accomplishment for me, being able to take care of myself in a legal way. What I will say to people is you can be as great as your mind see it. And I say that because if you can see it, you can achieve it. Because for me, when I was sitting in those spaces, I remember working for a company and I was like, I'm going to get my own. I'm going to make it happen. And I stayed committed. It didn't matter how long it took, I stayed committed to it. And I was laser focused on it. And what I tell people in pageantry and ballroom and all that, if you are just as laser focused on those pageants in that ballroom, if you're able to do that in your personal life, you will get there. I'm a living testament of it.
Man.
I'm a living testament of it.
God bless you, Mother.
Thank you
Oh
so much.
my God. God bless you.
Tatiana.
You have just really. Go ahead, Charles.
And when you mentioned something about pageantry, the whole pageantry world got very excited. So, is there a chance that you might be coming back to a stage near us soon?
Yeah, we Dominique, and yeah, I'm going. I have unfinished business with Continental. I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, then you heard it here.
You heard it here.
Thank you so much.
We love you so much.
Yeah.
I love y'all too.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
I don't know why I know you gave me your number when we were in Fort Lauderdale, but for some reason it's not here. So could you please just inbox me so I can be sure to.
I'll do it. Okay. All right.
Thank you, director.
Tatiana.
Thank you, everybody, for sharing her with us. We love you.
And thank y'all for waiting.
Have a great night. Oh, honey, she said, I'm out of here.
I'm out this bitch. We could talk to her all night long. Listen.
We could have.
That is one intelligent woman. We could talk to her all night long. I love that.
It's a Williams woman thing.
It's a Williams woman. It's a Braxton woman. Because you talk to any other Braxton, they're just as intelligent.
Yeah.
They're just as fashionable. I mean, they've really embarked on this thing. And you come into the industry, and the industry is already packed with who they already got. The Duprees was the biggest family ever, the St. James, and all these people. To bring your own family in and get just as much.
Thank you guys so much.
Notoriety and just as much respect. That ain't an easy thing. That's a thing you just really have to beat the ground on. You have to take a bunch of no's. You got to take a bunch of door slamming in your face, and you just keep coming. And you keep. Thank you so much, Kim, Mama Kim. I really appreciate that. But yeah, I'm so happy, and I know y'all can thank Dominique for making this interview happen, because I was like, "Oh, we talking to Mother Braxton?" Like, yes, because I love her videos and stuff she do too when she's in her car. And she had her camera pointed to her from the passenger side, and she be talking to us. And I really be feeling like like, I'm in the car with her. We just tripping, we talking, but she's very knowledgeable. She's very intelligent, beautiful, body, yada,
She
yada.
is.
Everything you can think about. They changed like them fucking Braxtons, Alexis Gabriel Sheraton, Marissa. Those girls really changed the way we look at pageants,
They did. They did.
because they
They did.
came in a way that wasn't like anybody else. It was like it was all the rhinestones, all the feathers, just these girls, these different hairdos they had. Like these girls, like really like
Thank you, Bishop.
the Florida girls coming. We got to really, yeah. Right, Antonio. We love the car ride.
Yes, we love the
Shout
car
out to
rides.
Antonio. When I saw Antonio take that position with the mayor and everything, that was like, whoa, that's so big, and I just love to see my people just doing it, and congratulations to you, Antonio. I'm so proud. I still get to look at you and say I'm so proud because I tell everybody, Antonio King was the first person to give me my first makeup book, and that was Sam Fine. It was either Sam Fine or the other Kevin or Quan. It was one of their books, and I remember reading that book from front to back a million times because I want to be an esteemed makeup artist. I wanted to be known. I wanted people to understand that that was something that I had a passion for, and I wanted to put my stamp on it. And I believe in life I've done that, and I appreciate it.
Absolutely, you
I
have.
appreciate the love that
Absolutely,
I've
you
always
have.
gotten for being the makeup surgeon. So thank you, Antonio, for that. Thank you, Shay Shay Larice. Shay Shay Larice is in the comments. Shay Shay, we got to talk to you too.
Hey, Shay
You got to come
Shay.
over and talk to us, Shay Shay. Shay Shay
We
got a
would
lot of.
love for you to come talk to us.
Shay Shay took me around before any celebrity did. Shay Shay took me from city to city. We was everywhere, state to state, and she treated me like the makeup artist that she thought I was, and she always put my name out there. She always made sure that people, "Oh, you need to book Trent." I had my own room. I had my flights. I was paid lovely. If you wanted to drink, Shay Shay had the bar open for you. Just thank you, Shay Shay, for opening that space up for me. I really, really do appreciate you. You are a boss bitch. You always been that bitch. I've always had mad respect for you because you laid the carpet out for a kid. I got to see a lot of stuff because of you, especially in the drag community. When so many people run off with my money, so many people would take my money, do what they want to do with it, and never pay me. But Shay Shay
Love
showed
you
up
too,
and
too,
for me.
Kendall.
She gave me such an amazing time. She made me feel like a big time makeup artist. And when I want to get into the union, it's $3,500 once you accept it into the union. She looked at me, she said, "I want to pay that for you." And I was like, whoa, nobody ever, gave me this type of thing. But I told Shay it was so personal for me that I wanted to do it for myself. But just her offering it to me was so big because people don't do that. People don't
Yeah.
see you like that.
Hey, Eric.
People won't let you borrow $20, let alone give you $3,500 to get into a business that you wanted to be in. But Shay, I love you forever. If you ever need me, I'm always just a phone call away. If I'm available, I'm always there for you. Thank you so much for seeing me in that light. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Because she's such a giver.
She's a Pisces.
She is a giver, and
she's a Pisces. She's such a fucking giver.
she gives, and you don't hear about it.
No, she don't brag about it.
After the fact, she never
Don't
says,
brag about it.
"Remember when I did this for you," or anything like that. And it's just really interesting is that when people get upset and they may click and they may talk some shit or whatever, people they remember that, but they never talk about the wonderful things that people
Shay is the
do
grandest bitch
within the
I
community.
ever met. She's the grandest bitch I ever met in pageantry. You hear me? Like, I was like, whoa, who is this lady? And because she's been so blessed, she understands the importance of making sure other people is blessed around her too. And you just got to thank these people because we are not who we
I
are.
know God, thank him. Yes, absolutely thank him. Because just like you spoke about, I call him Uncle Antonio.
Uncle Antonio. He's so knowledgeable about what he knows.
Because let me just say, I love him to death. But oh my God. Because I think he sees something in me that you do as well, but I think he sees something in me that I never saw in myself. Oh, he used to get on my nerves because he would bitch and be like this,
Yeah.
that. But you never, but in those moments you begin to realize this person really cares about me.
And he know his
And, so,
shit.
and you sometimes you be like, why do you believe in me to this level?
It's
What
a
is
thing
it?
you see in people,
What
though. It's something you
it's
see in people. Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
And so I'm so grateful to him because I would not be going back to compete on this stage had it not been for him. I was done.
Really?
I was done with drag, period.
Really?
I was asking. I was over it. I said,
He has
I'm
an eye for
done.
drag, though. He
I'm
has
just
an
gonna
eye for drag.
I just want to be a mom. That's all I care about right now. But then he called me after Godfrey won. He said, so you're not motivated yet? And I was just like,
Yes, Antonio.
I said, yeah. I said, I think I am. But anyway, I just want to thank him for that. But there's some wonderful people in our community. Yeah,
Yes.
most definitely. I would love to bring.
No, you getting these accolades. These accolades.
Yeah, tell move on.
You getting
Because you do know that he's in seminary school, right?
And what is that? Teach me.
He's going to be a minister.
Yes, I can see that.
Yes, absolutely. And so, so he's preparing for his next. And so people always try to talk him into, oh, do your pageant. He's at this space where he's moving to his next.
Because if he doesn't do anything else with pageantry, his name is solidified in that space. Antonio has an eye for that thing. He know what to look for. He has judged the biggest pageants. His own pageants was big, and if he wanted to have his own national system, he could have that if he wanted to. But, sometimes like you're saying, when you've been successful in a certain thing, sometimes it's okay to move on to your next.
Yeah.
And that's a beautiful thing because as we get older in life, like even me sometimes I'd be trying to figure out what's next for me. Like Tatiana was talking earlier, like what's my end goal?
But we've talked about that.
Yeah, and then
we've had that conversation, and and I'm not going to rest until you begin to pursue that thing that we talked about because we know, because I know that's
yes,
because,
it is, Shay.
It's that time. It's that time, it's time for the Surgeon LLC or whatever it's going to be.
I think so too.
Yeah,
so I don't have to work so hard. I want my name to work hard, but I don't want to work as hard as I used to.
Yeah, who got a rotary phone?
That ain't me, honey. That got to be your phone.
No, I don't. That ain't me.
What the fuck is that?
That's you.
No, it's not me. My phone ain't even ringing.
That is not me, Trent.
Y'all see who I got on that cover? Tanisha Cassidy.
We see who you got on that cover.
Thank you, Antonio. Sometimes I don't feel like that all the time, though. But thank you so much.
But thank y'all so much for joining us because we're about bringing to light people that we feel that need.
We've been doing this about 6 months too.
Have we?
6 months.
Are you serious?
This episode 23. It's 4 weeks in a month.
God. When you're older, time just seems to fly by and you just don't realize.
Oh, flying.
Lord, I did not realize we had been going so long. I mean, I'm enjoying every moment.
I'm so enjoying getting to talk to all these different people from every walk of life. And
yes,
there's so many people inboxing me like, I want to come on your show. We got some people, some very interesting people coming up, and I just love it. Yeah. And yeah.
Love you too.
Love you too. Who is that? I can't pronounce that.
I don't want to mispronounce
the Ben.
Yes. Okay. Good. You went on with it.
The Ben Jardins Lewis.
I did not want to mess up anybody's name. Yeah.
We're gonna be talking to Black America Court really, really soon. They have been doing an amazing job of being a symbol of excellence for our community and stuff, and showing up in spaces, looking absolutely amazing, being very personable with people. like a lot of people want to be something really bad, and when they get it, sometimes it don't always show up. But you can tell that these people who won this pageant, Lavelle,
Mhm.
Babyface Houston, Doray Saunders, and what's the queen name? I can't think. I've been drinking a little bit tonight.
Please don't ask me. 'Cause please, please, please,
She's a
don't.
star. She's a
I
star.
know faces, but I do not know names. But yes,
You don't
we
know that?
definitely. I do. I am. I
She's a
can.
star
You,
nonetheless. I can't even think right now. What the fuck?
yeah.
And this is no shade, but she's been absolutely amazing. Michonne Campbell Starr. That is her name. She's been absolutely fabulous as Miss Black America. I was so happy it happened for her too, because she had been doing that pageant a very long time, and she
Uh-huh.
finally won. And I told her when I was at Queen, I said, "Girl, you have been raining your ass off." I said, "You listen, people win these pageants after so long, and they don't give it nothing sometimes, but
Ooh,
you
honey,
can
ain't that
tell that she
true?
really wanted to be Miss Black America." And she showed up and did her thing, and she won Miss Black America. Of course, the king is always uh, Babyface Lavelle Babyface Houston. Of course, he's always debonair. He always dresses so lovely, and he's so personable. And Doré, of course, she do her thing, and I
She
just love this
does.
for her too. So we can't wait to talk to them about their amazing years and being the symbol of excellence. And then that pageant is coming up very soon, March 20th through 21st. So we need to govern
Yes.
ourselves accordingly. It's gonna be a lovely night. I think they called it Euphoria. So they're gonna take us on a ride with the Euphoria. Um, we got Sweetheart coming up.
We do.
We
Yes.
got Westland coming up.
We do.
Film,
Oh yes.
uh,
Everything's coming up.
regular. Plus, we got all of the Westlands coming up in April. We got Continental Elite coming up, who
Con-
I'm hoping,
don't forget Continental Elite.
and I hope that
Please.
you're very successful that night. I know you know what to do. It ain't no problem. It ain't no secret that you that girl. You always want to act like you ain't that girl, but you that girl. I don't know why you be trying like you ain't that girl, like it's a sin or something. Tamika X.
Hey X.
I love Tamika X. Tamika, we
Hey
got you.
Tamika
I
X.
love seeing your face, Tamika. And I watch all your videos, Tamika, because I be wanting to say, damn, I want some of that food, especially when you be eating that dirty rice and shit. And you don't have no spoon, so you take the top and squeeze the top in a
She,
little bit, dig in there, eat that thing. Oh, baby, I just love it. And I love when you put your head back and say, bitch.
don't she say that?
Tamika,
Doesn't she
I
say that?
love I love Tamika X because my gay mama Kiki uh really, really loved Tamika X. That was her girlfriend.
Thank you
And
for sure.
they really, yeah. Yeah. I love Tamika X forever. She my girl. And Shantae, I can't wait to see you at Westland. I hope you're still getting ready. You had extra time to put a little extra stones on your stuff if you want it. And you was really good last year when I judged you. You was really, really good. And Deasia Bluss had painted the fuck out of you. Your makeup was
Mm.
lovely. It was lovely. But I can't wait to see what you bring in April. You know,
Oh, thank you, Mama Kim.
thank you, Mama Kim.
Thank you, my Mama
You
Kim
are
is here
you hold a beautiful place in
every
our heart
time.
because I can't imagine. I lost a brother years ago, so I can't imagine losing a son and such a beautiful person that you raised and stuff. And thank you for still being connected with the community and still supporting us on our platforms and stuff. I know a lot of this stuff don't be easy, but I hope that it helps you to cope a bit when you get to tune into the community, the very community that he was such a big person in. We loved him dearly. He did no wrong in our eyes, and he's a very talented person, a very sweet person. You raised a
Absolutely.
beautiful man. Thank you for always supporting us, Kim. I really, really appreciate it. It doesn't go unnoticed.
No, it
Thank
does
you.
not.
We love you so much over here.
Yes,
And
yes,
thank you for
sir.
the support. I hope that you keep supporting us. And we're always gonna hold him up in the biggest of lights and the brightest of lights. And with our prayers is always with you. So thank you so much for that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But
We,
Dominique, thank you for using your
well,
Thursdays with me.
thank you, Bo. Thank you, baby. Oh, you
Thank you,
text me. Okay.
Empress.
Oh, Empress,
Empress, you
we've been
supposed to
waiting
come on
on
our show,
you.
Empress.
Yes, she was. Let me see.
Empress, you supposed to Empress gave me, I think it was
I don't
Empress.
have it.
Empress,
I don't
correct
have
me if
it,
I'm wrong.
Empress.
Empress gave me a because she did Whitney Houston's makeup. I picking this Empress. She did Whitney Houston's makeup for her funeral. And she
Let me
gave
look.
me a funeral obituary and a bracelet to go with it.
Hold on, Empress. I'm looking to see. I don't have it yet, mommy.
Text her
Hit me
again,
up
Empress. We gotta get you on the show.
because we still, yeah, we definitely
Yes, ma'am.
want to speak with you. We
Empress was
definitely
amazing when
want.
she went to Continental. I thought she would be back by now. Empress went to Continental and stormed that thing. You know, she was
Yes, she
amazing in that
did.
competition.
Yes, she
I
did.
absolutely, man. And I think Aria painted her, and she had her looking so fucking lovely. Yes. Bishop, it was good meeting you at
Good night, Bishop.
International Vogue as well. I love to put a face with a name. So Bishop, thank you so much. Thank you so much. But again, Dominique, thank you so much for your Thursday night class and us getting this vision out and getting to do this. Is we 6 months in. Next week will be our 6th month. We'll have 24 episodes. And I got to upload some more on our YouTube channel. I got to figure out how to
Please do.
I got to figure out how to run YouTube on this thing too. I be trying. But if anybody know, I'm gonna ask Coco. I'm gonna ask Coco. I'm gonna have to call Coco.
I'm
She
sure. I'm
can
sure
show
that
me.
she can help you.
Yeah, and make sure y'all follow our channel on YouTube, Beyond the Filter. We're so excited about the interviews we get to do. Thank you, Mother Braxton, for stopping by and telling us about your
Absolutely.
life. I love people who just get in the paint with us and just, it's easy, when they just so open to talk. And I just love that. I love that. I love to talk to intelligent people or people who had a story. Because people look at your life sometimes and think, oh, you got this, you got this, you got this. You always had this, but you ain't always had it. It's
No.
like you was saying, there was times when you're trying to figure out how to pay for stuff. Why
Right.
living in these big houses? Why driving around in the Benzes and stuff? It ain't always good for you.
No.
You have your
Right.
peaks and valleys, and you got to appreciate the valleys as much as you appreciate the peaks. So yeah. Thank y'all for tuning in so much on Thursday night, taking this Thursday night with us. We love y'all so much. Um, we'll see y'all next week, and we'll telling you who we're interviewing next week very, very soon as we finalize the details. Thank you. We love you for free. You can't do nothing about
Thank
it.
you.
We'll see y'all next week. All right.
Good night.
Good night.